So we're talking about when our heroes disappoint us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, you know what? I'm just going to acknowledge the elephant in the room. The elephant is not Nick. However, welcome our cameraman Nick, who brought all this stuff. And I don't know what this green screen's going to turn into. It may just be a fabulous lime background
To highlight the green in my skin.
Yes, she is clearly Mediterranean.
Right.
But yeah, so we have all this fancy equipment, and so we're super nervous.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, I can't talk. I feel like, so I don't know if you're like this, but like when I put on lipstick,
Like everybody's nose.
all of a sudden I talk like this.
Yeah.
And I have lipstick on.
Oh,
So
right.
I'm super nervous, and I'm just acknowledging it.
Okay.
So,
Let's sit with it.
yes, we're
We
going
can
to sit with
sit
it.
with
Okay.
So the topic we were going to try to go for was when people you admire, that deep side, when people you admire disappoint you.
Yeah.
So our intro was the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama, who made the comment about how the next Dalai Lama, if she's a woman. Well, first of all, let me back up though, because he has acknowledged that he thinks that the next Dalai Lama will be a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Woohoo! But then
Yeah.
he's like, and she'll probably have to be attractive.
Right. Right. And then, so this was a reporter from the Paris Vogue that was interviewing him, and he always has somebody translating for him. So anything that he's saying to an interviewer is generally being translated from Tibetan to usually English. So in that translation, she also heard him insinuate that she should also put on more makeup because it would make her more attractive. Well, the internet blew up, as you can imagine. Immediately, everybody jumped right into the Dalai Lama is sexist, and he said that women have to be attractive and double standards, and everybody was very, very angry, and everybody was like, boo Dalai Lama, we don't like him anymore. And that lasted only a day or so before his people, because he has a team of people. Even the Dalai Lama has a team of people.
Well, yeah, because he's not posting on Instagram.
No.
Let's be honest.
No, he has a team. He has an office full of people.
Yeah.
They're probably English-speaking people because they post on his Instagram and his Facebook and all those inspiring quotes. He said that stuff, but
Yeah.
somebody else is like writing it down like,
He's got a millennial monk that's probably posting on Instagram
he's
for
like,
him.
this is going to be good for the gram. Yeah, so a few days later, they put out an official statement saying that it was something that was lost in translation, and that anybody that knows him knows that he is a champion of women's rights. He has said that there should be more gender equality in the world. He has allowed women that are Buddhist monks to do things that traditionally men were only allowed to do, and that it was essentially something that was a joke, but it didn't come across as a joke.
And here's my thing. So, okay, yes, he's terribly funny. He does make little jokes, and so let me put that off to the side for a second, because in reality, so what we've experienced in our own politics here in the United States is that, yeah, if you're not an attractive female, the internet is going to smear you all over the place.
Right.
So,
Or even if you are.
yeah, I mean, truly, any woman in a leadership position is, I mean, you're gonna get knocked around and insulted for anything. Like if you wear a pantsuit, if you wear a skirt, if you're attractive, if you're ugly, or whatever. I mean, I'll probably get nailed on the internet for saying I'm more ugly. So, because we don't talk about men like this, but
No.
So that's the point, is that I don't know if he intended it this way,
Right.
but I 100% agree that if a Dalai Lama happens to end up being a woman, if the bird flies over her house and lands and indicates that she's a Dalai Lama or whatever,
She has the birthmark or something.
the thing,
Yeah.
right? If she picks the right glasses of the last Dalai Lama, I mean, the problem is yes, if she's No offense to Pima Chodron. If she looks like Pima Chodron.
Yeah, if she has, shaved head,
Yes.
91 years old.
I mean, what would you expect from a Buddhist monk?
Right.
However, I mean, you know, so it's a double standard because we don't expect our male Dalai Lama to look a certain way.
No, I do enjoy, as I've said many times, his hats.
He is adorable.
I enjoy the Dalai Lama in a cowboy hat and a sombrero. Google Dalai Lama, hat. I'm gonna say it again.
Just do it so she'll stop saying it.
I'm not gonna stop saying it. That's the thing.
Just continue to do it. Continue to check it out.
Continue to do it. Check it out.
Maybe there are new pictures all the time.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
Big baseball caps that don't fit his head because it's kind of a small head. I digress. But I agree. So let's think of even Brie Larson. She's conventionally attractive.
I am so happy that she's Captain Marvel, and I've said it before, because she is attainable. Like, because I am not, I'm not taller than 5'4", so I am not 5'11". You know, I am not, you know, skinny and all this stuff with enormous breasts.
Right.
So I can look like Captain Marvel. I can look like Brie Larson. I'm very happy about it.
But she's an example of somebody that is traditionally attractive, but she still gets shit because reasons. But back to the idea of what you're saying, I do agree that even though he meant it as a joke, it is very likely that if there were a new Dalai Lama, that people would want her to look like, you know, like Gal Gadot.
Right. But then that's the thing. But then they wouldn't pay any attention to anything that she was saying. And the whole time she'd be like, my eyes are up here.
Right.
So, like, you know, my enlightenment's up here.
Right. It's more up here. It's like a halo that shoots into the sky.
It's here and here. And up here.
God. It's a cone, really, of energy. Keep your eyes on my energy cone, please. Right.
Oh my God, we've evolved already. We've only just begun. We're almost like 10 minutes into it.
But that's the thing is, what do you do with that information at that point?
Yeah.
So, and we have some other examples too of times where you find out somebody that you admire, whether it's somebody that is an actor or an author or somebody that you don't personally know but you've looked up to or you admired, and then the internet drops something that they said, and then all of a sudden collectively we have to decide, do we hate this person now?
Well, here's the other thing. So I was actually doing a little bit of Googling. Surprise, surprise, I did some research. I don't know why, but so there are several websites that actually do 10 times celebrities disappointed us this year.
Ooh.
And there's a website called I think it's Betches. I don't know. I'm so not cool.
Did the kids say Betches now?
I think the kids say Betches. But it was a list of celebrities who had done stuff that we're just not really excited about. So, for example, like Kanye West in that damn MAGA hat.
Oh,
and like all of a sudden being all up in our president or whatever.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things like that where it's like, you know, the article said, you know, like we're trying to embrace his mental health issues and all of this and trying to be supportive. Yet, what's with the damn hat? Come on.
Right, and his dragon energy. He has dragon energy, and he shares that with Trump. So where do we draw the line for these individuals? So musicians, actors, other people in the public sphere, if they say something that offends us, what do we do with that? Do we continue to say we will no longer listen to their music, or?
Here's the thing, like, I think we have to back up a second, because the question is, the responsibility that we're putting on these celebrities to be a moral authority of something.
Right, that is the problem.
You know, I mean, is it the fact that when you become a celebrity, are you instantaneously having to agree to be somebody's moral standard?
Right.
Do you have to be their role model?
Right.
I mean, I feel like that's a lot of responsibility. I mean, personally, okay, so I am not a Britney Spears fan.
Mm-hmm.
However, I am a human fan, and I feel very bad about the breakdowns that she's had, because I mean, we have to know that their managers are not actually in it for their well-being. They're in it for the money that they're going to make them. So this poor woman has had all of these breakdowns, and it's like the life of a celebrity has to be I mean, I can't possibly imagine what's on these people, especially, you know, females and the way that their bodies have to look and all of that. Like, my God, you're on your period and you're bloated and all of a sudden you've got baby bump or whatever. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like. So going into being a celebrity, there's a lot of responsibility.
Right, and why?
Right, because, I mean, she's a singer and a dancer and she wears fancy outfits. I don't...
Toxic was a banger, though. Well, what about Daisy Ridley? What were you saying about Daisy Ridley?
Daisy Ridley had an interview recently, and basically she just said that she takes being an actor as being a job, which, like, broke the hearts of all of the Star Wars fans, because it's like, oh my God, if you're going to be Rey, then you have to love Star Wars inside and out and know all of the damn quotes and everything. And so, yeah, so I get being sad and upset by that. Mm-hmm. Like, that she doesn't bleed Star Wars, that she's not oozing with midichlorians. Like I am.
You are.
Clearly.
You should probably use more deodorant for that.
I know. I use Schmidt's. It's working. Thank you. So it's the Wonder deodorant. But that's the thing is, like, you know, she's not on social media. She doesn't do all of those things and tell the world about all the things that she's doing. Mm-hmm. I think that's okay.
I think that's probably healthier for her.
Yeah, she has boundaries.
Or
But that broke the hearts of many.
Right. And then we got Harrison Ford. Oh. Grumpy old Harrison Ford.
He's just an asshole.
Who hasn't been into it since day one. He was excited when they killed him off.
Yes, because he'd been asking to be killed off since Empire. He's like, I think it would be better for the story, and he's just really like, but I just really want to be Indiana Jones anyway. So.
I was just gonna say that, but I'll be Indiana Jones until I'm
forever.
80. Like, stop it.
With Nazis and
stop being Indiana Jones.
The Crystal Skull.
Yeah.
Come on.
No, we don't need it.
Terrible movie.
Yeah, and we were watching him break the Millennium Falcon Lego set on the Conan show. It was a few years ago.
Sadness.
Yeah.
An asshole.
And then I still haven't confirmed that was planned in any way.
I don't know how you... I can't...
I don't think it was.
We can't know that.
He's a meanie.
Yeah, he is.
So is William Shatner.
Oh, he's... Yes. Yeah, okay, yeah. So he's a big bummer because Okay, we all know William Shatner as Captain Kirk in the original Star Trek, which when it very first came out, wasn't as big of a hit as it was. Very similar to the concept what happened to Firefly. When Firefly went away, everybody's like, what the hell? We only got one season of Firefly.
Yeah.
And then everybody wants it back. Well, Star Trek was on for 3 seasons, went away, then finally got really popular. Shatner didn't want to go to any of the Star Trek conventions once they started and sort of poo-pooed the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
And hated the fact that he was known as Kirk. Okay, can we just be honest here? The guy is not a good actor.
No.
I've seen him in other things.
Or singer.
No. And there's the one movie where he's actually rapping Hamlet, where it's just terrible. Oof. What is that movie? Jason Lee's in it.
Oh, God.
Anyway, it's terrible. Don't bother.
Okay.
But he's not a good actor. So the fact that he's beloved for being Kirk, I feel like he should be thankful for that.
I agree.
There you go, Shatner.
Yeah.
But so what happened was several years ago, probably longer now than I thought, he did a documentary called Captains, where he went around and interviewed all of the people who had been Star Trek captains. Mm-hmm. And when he finally got to Patrick Stewart, if you watch the documentary, it looks like there was a little bit of like ouchiness between the two, like off camera.
Maybe he was jealous of Patrick Stewart.
Something. And so then, of course, because Patrick Stewart is just an amazing human being and has like panache, he like gracefully told Shatner, like, essentially, you're lucky to be well known for this, and Sir Patrick Stewart takes that as an honor for people to know him for that, because it is a beloved character.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Picard. Let's just say Picard's not sleeping around with everybody and their sister, whereas Kirk is. Who knows what he did with the Tribbles? But so, so it was because of that interview that Shatner finally like decided that, okay, I'll embrace this Kirk thing and maybe not
Right.
be such a jerk about it.
Right.
Of course, that was only like a handful of years ago.
Right. Well, at least we have George Takei.
That's true. George Takei. Yes, another national treasure.
Right. And so sometimes some of these things that we find out aren't even true as well.
Right.
So that was another one where everyone was, oh goodness, upset with. You'll have to tell me more about that because I didn't read the article.
The J.K. Rowling thing. So she, apparently there was a tweet where somebody made a comment about transgender women, something that they're wearing pants or something, and she is seen as liking it. She liked the tweet, and everybody went crazy, and this apparently indicated that she has something against transgender women. And so I looked on Snopes, and Snopes said, so there was this one person that like took it and ran with it, and Snopes says that there is no validity to, you know, to anything that she has said or written. There's nothing to back it up. However, you know, people are digging into like all of the things that she has liked and followed and all of this stuff. And but it's just, I mean, trolls.
Yeah.
Like people that just want to take shit and run with it. Like, don't we have anything better to do?
Then just like maybe.
Then just like take like the, and besides the fact, where did we go sideways where people aren't like, we're all human. Haven't we ever, I mean, everybody said something that they didn't mean to say, that it just sort of like fell out of your mouth stupid, or, you know, you typed it badly, or, my God, like, half of our communication these days is written, be it text or email or whatever, and a lot of my intention is lost. You know, my tone is lost in what I'm writing.
Yeah.
Unless you really know me and you can hear me like being completely sassy.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues misunderstanding you, but I know you had an issue with somebody that had emailed you once.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Or
like,
I know one. I don't know if the other things.
Yes. Yeah, you know, it's like, if you don't know me well enough, then you don't know that I'm being sarcastic. You can't hear if you don't know my voice, like, not just the way that it sounds, but like, you know, whatever. But, so that's hard, and I think that we need to, like, give people a break. It's asking a lot of the internet to be like, excuse me, JK, what did you mean by liking this tweet?
Right.
You know, nobody's going to give her the chance to defend herself when she likes a tweet.
No. It's kind of like, Kanye West is canceled. I may have said that.
However,
then I deleted it.
He did actually go to the White House. He was embracing all of that.
I know.
So,
that's been a tough one for me to reckon with, because I
mean, I'm not a Kanye West fan, so I'm not following that train anyway, but
like pre-2016 Kanye is like golden era. I don't know what to do with myself, honestly.
I mean, I guess, okay, this is going to show my age. So I guess it's like Michael Jackson, like...
No, that's a good point.
With the whole, like, Neverland thing. And Macaulay Culkin and all the little boys and...
He
went sideways.
I think we talked about this. Maybe we did not. So, Matt Groening and all of the folks associated with The Simpsons have decided to remove the episode from like season 2 or 3 or something like that, where there was a character that had a voice that sounded like Michael Jackson. So it was an older white man that had the voice of Michael Jackson and was interacting with Bart. And they have pulled that from the catalog because they didn't want it to show that they were on board with that at any point, or their reasoning was kind of, well, we believe that Michael Jackson would have used that as a predatory thing, you know, having it on a cartoon. And it's like, how do we know? But at what point do you say we can't listen to Kanye West, or we would pull this episode away? Like, what's the line?
And that's tough. I mean, with the whole,
I don't know.
I mean, no, I don't know that there's necessarily an answer. I think that there's a personal thing. That's my opinion. Like, you know, with Harvey Weinstein, like, am I gonna stop watching the movies that were already made? You know, Bill Cosby, I'm not gonna stop eating Jell-O.
Don't you dare have a pudding pop.
I mean, you know, like, I have fond memories of watching The Cosby Show.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it's like, there are just things that, you know, and, okay, Michael Jackson, like, he was my first boyfriend. I had his poster up on my wall, and I would kiss it. Like,
I listened to Thriller so much.
So much. Oh my God. So, like, I mean, no, like, my childhood is not tarnished.
Right.
I mean, that's just the reality. I mean, if somebody's upset by that, I'm sorry, but no, I'm not sorry. Okay, that's our next episode.
For another
not
time.
Apologizing for things all the time, but yeah, no, I personally, for me, like, I'm not gonna stop listening to Michael Jackson stuff. I am a little bit sort of not comfortable with I mean, there's nothing for me to do with Bill Cosby anymore. Like, I'm just not gonna I don't watch reruns. Haven't seen Cosby Show in ages. And I'll be honest, I don't know the last time I had Jell-O.
Yeah, I don't either. It's made of hooves.
It is made of hooves. So, yeah. So I'm actually okay. I'm good on the gelatin. Yeah, but I do think that's hard, and I think it's for each person to decide how they feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think, though, that it's fair to look at the entire context of the situation. I mean, I think it's pretty cut and dry about Harvey Weinstein. Like, there's just some of these folks, like, there's no question.
Right.
But
Dalai Lama, that's a...
Gotta look at the whole thing.
Yeah.
Gotta look at the whole thing. That's just fair. You know, that's what you would expect from any situation, you know?
Yeah, I'm really glad social media didn't exist when I was in high school.
Oh, God.
Or middle school.
Oh, my God.
Or really, yeah, even my early 20s.
I don't know how I don't know how they're doing it. It would be so hard, because it's hard enough to be a teenager.
Right.
And just to figure out, like figure out what I truly think about something. Mm-hmm. I mean, on the internet, you get everybody's opinion.
Right.
So, I mean...
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah, whose opinion do I want to pick to be mine today, you know?
And a lot of unattainable influences as well. Yeah, that would have been a nightmare, honestly, looking back.
Never mind having to figure out which is the truth. Like, honestly... Right. I got my truth, as much as you want to call it, from like 17 magazine.
Yeah, same.
You know, so I had my teachers, my parents.
Yeah.
17, maybe MTV. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, like, MTV was a big one for me.
You know, but there was no question as to whether or not somebody, you know, is this fake or whatever. Or, you know, I mean, yeah, I think I knew that like some pictures were photoshopped, you know, like the models and things, but
I didn't for a long time. Well, you think about the 90s, they actually were that thin, and that was like a problem.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Heroin chic.
Yes.
That was a thing.
Kate Moss.
Yeah, they didn't have to Photoshop her.
No. And then, what's her name, the one singer? What's her name?
The one singer.
I know. Helpful, huh? I don't remember. She's got that one song. And she's in her underwear.
Fiona Apple.
Thank you. I know it. Let me shut the door. I have no idea. So
I've never heard of it.
Oh, well, Bikram Chowdhury.
Oh, that's right.
He's an asshole.
That was the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, that was like the whole point. Yeah. Sorry about that. Was within the context of yoga. My goodness, I've had a lot of wake-up calls within the last probably 5 to 10 years because I did my teacher training in 2008 and I was practicing Ashtanga and I was trying Bikram and I was doing Anusara and all of these different styles of yoga, and we now know that every single one of those styles had a founder that was a predator of some kind.
Yes.
All of them.
Yes.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Even
they were an
Iyengar.
abuser or something. Yes. They're like beating people. Iyengar was like hitting people because they folded the blankets wrong.
Right. He was beating a woman with a stick, with an actual stick, because he didn't like how she folded the blanket.
I mean, I don't like it the way people fold blankets a certain way. But I'm not going to hit anybody. I could just simply put up a sign that says, "Can you please fold it this way?"
Yeah. A verbal stick.
Yes. Right in the back. Verbal stick. I'm going to gain you with my words.
Yeah. So, and that must be something I I didn't struggle with it as much because I think by the time I had heard of some of these things, I had kind of moved to a point where I was doing more of my own thing and I wasn't really attached to any specific type of yoga practice. But I think for a lot of people, there's a lot of cognitive dissonance that's happening and a lot of difficulty with separating the fact that they are specifically engaging in a practice that all of the rules, all of the, things about it, all of the money even is going to somebody that they know now is an abuser of some kind, in a lot of cases an actual rapist, which is significant. And the list continues to grow.
Right.
We continue to learn more and more. And so some people say, well, it's about the practice. So we can't just erase the fact that they created these things. And it's like, yeah, that's not what we're saying.
No.
But you could maybe choose not to give money to a studio that still has Bikram in the name, because he's still, regardless of what's going on with him, if it has Bikram in the name, royalties go to him.
And the whole Kundalini, the detention centers and
so oh gosh, I can't think of the institute, but there's a Kundalini institute that owns some of the detention centers that are currently being used for children. So that's a problem.
That is a big problem.
And if you are going to a studio that is specifically a Kundalini studio, and some people might be offended by some of this, but this is what we got to talk about. If you're going to a specifically Kundalini studio and you are affiliated with that organization, that's where your money's going.
Right. And that's the whole thing, because at least in the United States, I mean, probably the whole world, you can say this, money talks.
Yeah.
Money's the answer. If you can't vote about it, then you got to decide where you're going to put your money on it or not. I'm perfectly content spending all my money at Target because I feel comfortable with the company, because they are very supportive of LGBTQ people and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of research about companies that are supporting people that I absolutely refuse to give my money to.
Right.
And that's a big deal. That matters. And if companies stop receiving your money, then they're going to make decisions. Like, for example, all of frickin' Georgia, with the stupid thing about them, Georgia saying that they're going to do the bathroom ban, They're like, fine, we're not going to shoot Walking Dead in Georgia.
Right, and lots of other shows
as
well.
And so the whole damn state changed their mind about certain laws because money talks.
Right.
And that just goes to prove how much the principle of their dumb law is not based in anything that they feel that strongly about if they can be bought.
Right. And I think
I'm getting all
within the context of yoga, I think that I don't think it's moving quickly enough, because I think people, the problem is there are a lot of emotions tied into a yoga practice.
Really?
And if somebody seeks out a specific type of yoga practice and they gain tremendous benefits from it, even if the benefits are just being calmer, being happier, to take a look at that and then see what's gone on to make that happen is really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I can't think of an example of anything I have like that going on in the yoga world right now, because I've kind of felt like I'm like no to these different things as they come out. But I don't know, that's just where I'm at. I could see how if somebody had told me 10 years ago when I was, practicing specific things, that I would have been like, well, but maybe it's not all that bad.
And I guess one difference though is that I haven't sunk my whole yoga practice into Kundalini or Ashtanga or whatever.
Right, and I didn't either.
I take little bits here and there, and here's the other thing, I have never felt that those people, I'm sorry, men, are they're not my guru. I don't follow that person. I don't follow Patabi Joyce. I don't follow Iyengar. I'm following the practice itself, and I mean, I was raised like this. I take it with a grain of salt. Like, I think it was, what is it, last episode or before, you're talking about how you're not real big on authority.
I could talk about that every time.
But I think that that's healthy, because, you know, that's where I'm not getting caught up in the person who created this thing. I'm not following what they're saying. Mm-hmm. I take pieces and parts of the practice and I build it into what's best for my body, because that, I think, is really what yoga is.
I agree.
That's the whole thing. I feel like that is the foundation of why we even created Yoga Rebels, to be honest.
It is. It totally is.
Like, don't do something that hurts your body.
Right.
That's not yoga.
Right. Right. It's like the time that I got into a brief internet argument with somebody I'd never met before, which I just unfollowed the group. It was a yoga teachers group, and they were talking about the sutras and how we should essentially follow them to a T. And I was like, question everything. And some random guy in I don't know where, who is like, you know, probably about my age, was like, no, don't. That's why the rules are there. I'm like, the Yoga Sutras are your rules?
No, they're guidelines.
Are you for real? And
no, that's why they're called sutras. They're aphorisms. They're not rules.
Well, he and a lot of others took them as rules. Just like a lot of people will take things from the Bible as rules and then ruin life for large groups of people.
But yes. Like, if we were to really... Oh, I'm not even going to get into the Bible thing. Like, if we were really to live like the Bible, shit would be real. Like, we'd be putting babies out to die because they have 2 different colored eyes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we would still have slaves, for sure. Because slavery was just dandy.
Yes.
Slavery was fine.
Oh my God. But our food choices would be outrageous.
Yeah,
I'd be very sad.
I don't know. I'm a vegetarian, and I'm allergic to shellfish, so I'd be okay. But I wear a lot of mixed fabrics, so I don't know.
See, there. God.
I saw something recently that I found very funny. It was a Google Maps image of Cairo to Jerusalem, and it showed how long it would take to walk there, and it was like 6 days, and then above it had a picture, and it says, Moses crossed the desert in 40 years, and then below it was the 6th day.
It really just takes 6 days. Walking? So it would take 6 days walking?
Yeah. So not 40.
How was he doing? Diddling around.
I don't know. He was just messing around, not eating pork.
Well, he was carrying those big stone tablets. Maybe it took a while.
Was he carrying those the whole time?
I don't know.
That was
that's ridiculous.
This sucks. Yeah.
They're so heavy.
So, context is important.
Correct.
So, context, yeah. So within the context of yoga, what do you do? What do you do if you're at an Ashtanga studio, or you're still at a Bikram studio, or you're at a Kundalini studio, and you're like, this practice has helped me, and it makes me feel good about life, or I feel better about life. What do you do with that?
I think, first of all, you got to be honest, and you at least need to recognize that, okay, these guys are assholes. They did awful things. You need to at least own that. You at least need to recognize that that is fact. That's first and foremost. Plus, also, I think it's beneficial to do your research about something that you're going to follow so diehardly anyway.
That's where it becomes problematic.
Like, I'm not going to just blindly go into a Bikram studio and be like, oh, sure, 105 degrees. This seems legit. Like,
or when they tell you that if you see swirls, it's your consciousness, or you're becoming enlightened. Like,
no, you're passing out. You're dehydrated.
Don't wait for them to tell you to drink your water. Just drink your water.
They're going to kick you out anyway. They're going to drink in water, you're out.
I was kicked out of a Bikram class twice.
Oh my God. I can't even.
I was, and then I got yelled at. Quietly yelled at in the lobby while I was laying on the floor.
Your consciousness got a dressing down.
I was laying on the floor, and I was like, I'm gonna throw up. And the teacher stopped teaching to come out and yell at me and tell me I wasn't allowed to leave the room, and that if I needed to lay down, I could lay down on the floor in there.
Oh, thanks. Can I? Already doing it. Gonna throw up. Thanks.
Yeah, the other time was because I took a sip of water.
Oh, God.
to do with myself. Right.
So, our takeaway.
Takeaway. Humans are disappointing.
Yeah, we're kind of assholes.
Yeah. We are an invasive species to the actual planet.
Yep.
And we all mess up. We say stuff that we regret later. Unless you're maybe a sociopath, then you don't regret it later and you're fine with it. But for the rest of us...
So we're talking to the non-sociopaths out there.
So question everything.
Yeah.
Don't blindly go into a yoga practice with the assumption that that teacher is your guru and that you have a set of rules that you must follow. Take things as suggestions, but certainly don't feel as though within that kind of context you are being given actual commandments or rules.
Right. Don't do anything you don't want to do
Right.
or don't feel comfortable doing.
Right.
Please.
Trust your gut.
Yeah. Whether it's a pose or whether it's, okay, for God's sake, don't sleep with the damn teacher. That's not how you gain enlightenment. I'm just saying that. I'm just saying it.
And that happens a lot. And
Yes, there's no enlightenment there.
there's no enlightenment there.
Okay. All right.
So, yes.
Great.
So, in today's episode of Kids These Days, and Get Off My Lawn,
Stop sleeping with your yoga teachers.
we realize that everyone sucks, but it's okay. Because we can
right.
put things into context, and we can ask questions, and we can get the hell out of there if something isn't working.
Or if you need a drink of water.
Yeah, if we need a drink of water to lay on the floor.
Oh my God. All right. Well, if you enjoyed this, please click like or subscribe. If you were completely offended, please click like or subscribe. And tell us why you were freaking offended. Like, interact.
Yeah, you can go to our Facebook, Yoga Rebels. Just look it up, Yoga Rebels, or you can go to @Yoga Rebels Podcast on Instagram. There are a few spaces where you can ask us questions and it goes just to us, so they can be anonymous. We'll know it's you because you're sending it to us, but we don't have to tell anybody if you have a question.
Yeah. All right. Or patreon.com/yoga rebels.
Yeah.
And do that and help support us so that we can go do things.
Yeah, so there are different
and maybe
levels.
pay our cameraman.
Yeah, there are different levels. So there's, what are the levels? You named them.
There's just one, $5.
Oh, there's just one. Okay.
Yep.
So that's it.
That's it.
And then you get stuff and you get the satisfaction of knowing that you are sending us to do cool things like take lightsaber lessons eventually and go places and
and
entertain you. We're here for your entertainment, your infotainment.
That's right.
Yeah.
And in the meantime,
Keep the
keep
rebellion
rebellion alive. Great. Thanks, Nick.